Good morning, guys. My name is Hilary Camille de la Cruz, and I'm going to share with you an integrated essay on the play Lady Windermere's Fans by Oscar Wilde. So, the play Lady Windermere's Fan, written by Oscar Wilde, is about jealousy. Jealousy is that unpleasant emotion that a person feels when thinking that a loved may be unfaithful. Jealousy can refer to the thoughts or feelings of insecurity and concern over a relative lack of possession. This term can drive feelings of anger, resentment, or disgust. Lady Windermere's Fans. The play Lady Windermere's Fans, written by Oscar Wilde, is about a woman who who doubts about her husband's fidelity due to rumors told by the Duchess of Berwick. She doubts that that is true and confronts her husband, who assures her that he's just only trying to help Mrs. Zerlin to enter society, and asks his wife to invite her to her birthday party. She does not agree, but he invites Mrs. Zerlin for his account. During her birthday, Lady Windermere sees them dancing, and despite having rejected the proposal to go with Lord Darlington, she changes her mind and leaves a letter to her husband. But the one who reads it is Mrs. Zerlin, that goes in search of her to make her see reasons, and is trapped in Lord Darlington's rooms when he unexpectedly arrives with his friends. So Mrs. Zerlin comes out of her hiding place upon hearing that Lord Windermere recognizes the fund he had given to his wife, and she takes responsibility for taking the fund by mistake. To give Lady Windermere the opportunity to escape. That's why. That's why. So Lord Windermere criticized Mrs. Zerlin for being in the room of Lord Darlington, and Lady Windermere defends her. Later, Mrs. Zerlin arrives to return the fan say goodbye to them, and there she meets August, who asks her to marry him after she explains that it was him she was looking for in Darlington's room. Lord Windermere is relieved to hear that, and Lady Windermere adds that Mrs. Zerlin is a good woman. So first, reputation is an idea or concept that people have about a person or thing. This concept is associated with prestige, and when a person has bad reputation, that means that that person has an obvious remarkable feature for, like, I know that person has an obvious notoriety for having a remarkable feature, and when that happens, public opinion already knows the bad action in question. So reputation is shown in Lady Windermere's response when Lady Windermere says that she will have no one in her house about there is any scandal. Secondly, misunderstanding is a failure to understand for or an argument resulting from the failure of two people or two sides can be to understand each other. So a misunderstanding occurs when there is a distortion in the communication that causes the message to be distorted. So misunderstanding is shown in the play Lady Windermere's Fans by Oscar Wilde when Lady Windermere thinks her husband is being unfaithful with Mrs. Sterling when he's not. And thirdly, generosity is the quality of giving more importance or time to others people's needs than your own. So it does not refer only to giving material things, but also to offering people who need it, and it is associated with the term solidarity. When a person is generous, that means that a person is disinterested and also altruistic. Gen- Generosity is showing in the play Lady Windermere's fans when Mrs. Erlin when bis I'm sorry. Generosity is showing in Lady Windermere fan when Mrs. Erlin reveals herself in Lord Darlington's rooms and says that she took the fan by mistake to give the opportunity to Lady Windermere to escape. In the play Lady Windermere's fans, many stylistic devices are found. There is assonance when Lady Windermere says, I never heard of her." There is also alliteration when Lady Windermere says, "Some silly scandal." Voldemort simile. When Lord Windermere says, "I wish you have been I wish you had been as jealous of mine." So, in conclusion, the play Lady Windermere fans is about a young woman that doubts her husband's fidelity because of gossip told by the Duchess of Berwick. And reputation is an opinion that can be good or about a person. Also, misunderstanding is a misinterpretation of something. Furthermore, generosity is the habit or giving or sharing with others without receiving anything in return. The stylistic devices found in the play Lady Windermere are assonance, alliteration, and simile. The the author wants to show people that it's not right to judge people before knowing them, and I agree that one has to think or investigate is if there is any doubt, like before acting or take any important decision. That's it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marcel Paulino. I'm going to talk about the play Lady Windermere's Fan. The play Lady Windermere's Fan, written by Oscar Wilde, is about Lady Windermere that is a 21 years old girl and is married with Lord Windermere. They have a baby, 6-month-old son. Lady Windermere loves her husband. Miss Arlene is actually her mother, something that Lady Windermere doesn't know. Continuing reading the play, Lady Windermere believes that Lord Windermere is cheating on her with Mr. Arlene. Then, then Lady Windermere goes to Lord Darlington to be protected and saved by Mr. Arlene. Lady Windermere at the beginning think that all people are either good or bad. First, the play Lady Windermere Fans, written by Oscar Wilde, is about loyalty. Loyalty is being a consistent follower of something. This can be your school, friends, family, or even favorite sport team. It means to stand by, speak up for, and protect your family, friends, school, and country. Loyalty is a special moral responsibility to promote and protect the interests of others. This duty goes to beyond the normal obligation we all share to care for others. Second, Rumors is a story of piece of information that can be true or false, but the people are talking about. Rumors spread from person to person or can spread from one person to a whole of people at once. Thirdly, unfaithfulness is the fact of having a sexual relationship of experience with a person who is not your husband, wife, or usual sexual partner. Hyperbole is mainly used to intensify physical qualities of objects or people. In line that says you look on me as being begin the age. Well, I should be sorry to be on the same level as an age like this. For me, the sentence that summarizes the plot, if you pretend to be good, the world takes you very seriously. If you pretend to be bad, it doesn't end. The author wants to show that people have to believe in themselves, even though the rumors are true, and that the people can trust in everything the people listen. Finally, before making a decision, people have to investigate the rumors, whether it is true or false, as I said before, and also not believe what the people say once and for all, and try not to let the decision the people are going to make affect their life. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Giselle Ramirez Lamar, and I will present my interpreted essay on Lady Windermere's Fan by Oscar Wilde. The play Lady Windermere's Fan by Oscar Wilde, written by Oscar Wilde, is about jealousy. Jealousy is a feeling of unhappiness and discontentment that someone can experience when another person has something he or she desires. It is also a notion that one's partner is involved with someone else. Jealousy can cause mistrust and doubt in a relationship, and it is the starting point of unpleasant confrontations and feelings such as anger or fear. The play Lady Windermere's Fan is about Lady Windermere, whose birthday is coming up, and she decided to have a party. To begin with, Lord Darlington, the Duchess of Berwick, and her daughter visit her. The Duchess tells her that her husband, Lord Windermere, might be having an affair with Mrs. Erlynne. Then Lady Windermere confronts her husband about it, and he explains that he's helping her return to society and asks Lady Windermere to invite her to the party, but Lady Windermere disagrees. However, Lord Windermere sends the invitation anyway. Then Mrs. Aileen joins the party and steals everyone's attention. During the party, Mrs. Erlynne and Lord Darlington are seen dancing together, and Margaret also sees them. She goes to write a letter and then leaves for Lord Darlington's house. Shortly after, Mrs. Erlynne finds the letter and follows Margaret and tells her not to leave her husband. At the end, Mrs. Erlynne explains the situation to Lord and Lady Windermere, begs Margaret not to tell the truth about what happened at Lord Darlington's house, and asks Lady Windermere to keep the secret. Finally, she leaves. Primarily, disagreement is the lack of agreement. It takes place amongst people who, when there is a difference of ideas or two people don't have the same opinion in a matter. Disagreement is seen in the play when Lord Darlington and Lady Windermere are discussing their views on society and don't see eye to eye about what's considered acceptable in society. Secondly, naivety is the state of being naive. A naive person has faith that all or most people are good and therefore they are worthy of trust. It is shown in the play when Lady Windermere doesn't want to believe at first that her husband is cheating on her when the Duchess tells her. Thirdly, gossip is the talks or reports of other people. This involves details of that haven't been confirmed as true. When people gossip, they share another person's personal information, which may or may not be true. It takes place in the play when the Duchess of Berwick tells Lady Windermere about Mrs. Erling's doings in society. Lady Windermere's Fan is a dramatic play and it has many literary devices. Firstly, the simile, when Wilde writes what a curious shape it is, just like packing case. The writer also uses a metaphor when he writes, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars." The assonance is seen when he writes, "Very small, very early, and very select Duchess." The play Lady Windermere's Fan, written by Oscar Wilde, is about Lady Windermere, who wrongly believes that her husband is having an affair. Firstly, disagreement is the lack of agreement. Secondly, naivety is the state of being naive. Thirdly, gossip is the talks about someone else's information. Oscar Wilde wants to show people that the effects of rumor and gossip in relationships and that they determine a person's reputation, even if the information shared is not true. And and that is why people shouldn't easily believe what others say. It is a dramatic play, and the stylistic devices used are the simile, the the metaphor, and the assonance. I agree that gossip can be misleading, and that people should be careful about being quick to accept what other people say as a fact, since some things are not as they seem to be. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Omar Santos. So the play Lady Windermere's Fun, written by Oscar Wilde, is about Margaret or Lady Windermere, who gets a casual visit by Lord Darlington, and they have the typical conversation about life, themselves, and love. Right after, the Duchess of Berwick pays her visit, and they start talking about marriage and men's behavior, specifically about Lord Windermere's behavior, which involves another woman. Skeptical, she goes and she goes over his husband's bank's book and confirms that a big amount of money is being sent to Mistress Erland. Lord Windermere finds her and tries to explain it. Then Lord Windermere decides to invite Mistress Erland to the ball. At the ball, Lord Darlington confesses his love for Margaret and advises her to leave her husband for him. In Lord Darlington's house, Mistress Erling talks Margaret out of that thought of leaving and advises her to go back to Arthur, who is her husband. However, people show up at the scene and Mistress Erling is exposed. The next day, Margaret tries to explain everything to Arthur, but Mistress Erling tells her not to do so since it would spoil Arthur's love for nothing. The play Lady Windermere's Fun, written by Oscar Wilde, is about appearance, which has to do with what seems to be. In philosophy, the concept usually implies an opposition between the perception of a thing and its objective reality. Appearances can be deceptive. The way something or someone looks from outside may give us the wrong impression. First of all, hypocrisy is when people promote a behavior that they do not actually practice themselves. It is basically to pretend to be a certain thing or have, but people actually don't. This is misleading or manipulative. This practice is detestable since the people who practice it intentionally attempt to fool or deceive someone else. We can see the hypocrisy in the play when Cecil Graham says that a man that moralizes is usually a hypocrite. Secondly, opportunism can be described as self-interest seeking. It's like a self-centered approach to situations that do not take into consideration how other people feel. These types of people usually adapt their actions to take advantage of opportunities and circumstances. Opportunism is rarely looked highly upon, though it's beneficial at times when it comes to business areas. This is shown in the play when Lord Darlington sees that Margaret is devastated by her apparent husband's action, and he took that opportunity to confess his love for her and talk her into living with him. Thirdly, gossip is sharing information about a person that is absent. It comes naturally a part of a conversation. It is not necessarily focused on negative aspects. It can also be positive or neutral. Nevertheless, nowadays, gossip is seen as malicious rumors that look to degrade other people. Some people might gossip to seek revenge, others to show dislike. Therefore, these people look for others who share this mutual feeling for the same person in question. Gossip is shown in the play when Cecil Graham says to Arthur that he would never talk scandal, but only gossip. Different literary devices can be found in the play, such as metaphor, which implies comparison, and that is shown in the line, London is too full of thugs and serious people. We also have irony, which refers to a situation in which there is a contrast between expectation and reality. This is shown in the line, mind you take great care of my little chatterbox, Mr. Hopper. In conclusion, the play is about Lady Windermere is about Margaret, who is deceived by, let's say, the comments made towards her husband and her mother. It is crucial to remember that hypocrisy is to promote a behavior that people do not actually practice themselves, and that opportunism is a self-interest seeking, and additionally, gossip is to share information of an absent person. Different literary devices can be found in the play, such as metaphor and irony. And one of the messages that Oscar Wilde promotes through Lady Windermere's fun play is that people can easily be deceived by what they see. People do not actually try to get to know a person well and just make a value judgment based on appearances without going to the roots. In my opinion, this is something people have all been affected by and even practiced sometimes, especially on social media when people want the world to see us in a particular way, not being true. So that's all from me. Thank you.